Welcome back to our channel. At the movie open we seen shows a man named Adam who was forced to leave his house because he couldn't pay the rent. He was a former prisoner with conditional release. After 16 years in prison, it was said that he was sentenced for committing murder. Long story short, he visited his old friend Steve. Adam asked Steve's permission to let him stay at his house for a while, but unfortunately all the rooms in the house were already occupied by other people. However, Steve was feeling sorry for Adam, so he finally wanted to help him, but the only room left was the warehouse, so like it or not, Adam had to stay there. Even though the warehouse was very dirty and messy, Adam was still grateful instead of having to sleep on the roadside. Apart from that, Steve also gave Adam a job to look after his coffee shop. Elsewhere, there was an unemployed rocker named Mike. Because his band failed miserably, he was forced to run an illegal business belonging to Laugh, who was none other than his own uncle. Left was a gangster boss, ran some illegal business that day. Left asked Mike to do the legal transactions, which is a weapon purchase. Then Mike commit to armed sellers who were on standby in their car, but instead of serving Mike as the customer, one of them was busy playing a mobile game. Mike, who felt neglected, finally reprimanded the man, making him very angry, but the threat was just a prank. The man then showed all the weapons that had been ordered by Laugh, and after the transaction was completed, Mike returned to his uncle's space. There, Laugh was actually angry because the weapon was wrapped in a paper bag. Look, at the same time in another place there was a young man named Eli who was fixing electronic things at his house. He was Mike's good friend and a member of Mike's rock band, but lately Eli chose to be a laborer instead of being an unemployed rocker. Not long after that, his mother looked very angry after finding out that Adam had been freed from prison. It was revealed that Adam was the person who had killed her eldest son. As a mother, she still holds a grudge against Adam, but Eli asked his mother to forget about the dark instance so that it didn't affect her health. Meanwhile, Adam went to the police station to report to Patricia, the female police officer who was assigned to monitor him. If Adam didn't report to the police station, then he would be returned to prison again. This time he reported about his daily life working at Steve's bar, but the police seemed angry because Adam had returned to his hometown. What's more, there were lots of gangsters and thugs there who could put him in trouble. However, Adam didn't care what Patricia said, and so far he hadn't broken the law. After that, Adam visited Donna, his ex-wife. Unfortunately, this woman was already disappointed and didn't want to see him anymore. She considered Adam to be an irresponsible man. After that, Adam asked Steve for help to reunite him with his son Jimmy. At first, Steve didn't want to help so that his friend could understand his past, but after thinking about it, Steve felt sorry because Adam had never seen his son, who had been left behind since he was a baby. Therefore, Steve took Adam to a park where Jimmy often visited. There, Adam saw his son playing basketball, and he planned to hide his true identity so that it wouldn't be awkward to get closer to his son. Adam also played basketball with him, but in the midst of the excitement, Jimmy got involved in a brawl with a big man until they almost forgot. Even though Adam was hit by the big man, he still looked calm. In fact, he continued playing basketball. After playing, Jimmy came over to Adam and asked why he didn't want to fight back when he was hit. Here, Adam said that he didn't want to have problems with other people. On the other hand, Left invited Mike to buy drugs. Besides having a business in buying and selling weapons, Left was also a drug dealer. The two of them then arrived at the house of a woman named from all well-known drug supplier in the city. Since 5 years ago, Left has been a loyal customer. When the transaction was complete, Jamal offered a new type of narcotics, but the offer was rejected by Laugh, even though Mike was interested in selling it so he could make a big profit. Hearing that, Left scolded his nephew, who dared to interfere in his business. When they were about to go home, Mike looked annoying to his uncle because he was being humiliated in front of Jamal. After that, Left told Mike that he shouldn't just trust other people because everyone involved in crime definitely has evil intentions. Even though Left seemed fears if he actually really cared about his nephew, especially since he took care of Mike since he was little. After his mother died shortly when they arrived at the base, there was an angry addict, Kane. Then he accused Left's subordinate Sticky of being a fraudster who had sold the poor quality drugs. Not accepting of this accusation, Sticky immediately gave a lesson to him. That same evening, you went to Mike's house to discuss the future of their band. Mike then invited Eli to move to Austin because everyone there likes rock music. Apart from moving cities, they also had a look for a new drummer for their band, but Eli didn't want to discuss it yet because his mind was confused because of Adam's presence in his city. After returning from Mike's house, Eli met his girlfriend Laurie in the car and find it in her that his brother's murderer was out of prison, and this really disturbed his mind. Laurie then advised him to just forget about it, but suddenly Umai became hostile and didn't accept what his girlfriend said. Hearing that, Laurie asked to get off in the middle of the road because She thought Eli was too rude to her. In a different place, Laugh again invited Mike to some more context to a gangster boss known as Ear. In the middle of the transaction, Ear's men suddenly came and brought a man who had not paid his debt. Without further ado, they immediately drank the man to a quiet place. Then Ear tortured him very cruelly. After that, Ear invited Laugh and Mike to drink together, but they both chose to leave after seeing all his brutality. The next day, Left and Sticky came to a bald man, less regular rep and seller in the car. Left pointed his gun at the man. Left was very angry because this bald man had ever print his nephew when buying a gun. When Left arrived at the headquarters, he told Mike to pick up a package at the new supplier. He also equipped Mike with a gun just in case something bad happened, but after Mike looking at the gun, it turned out that it didn't have bullets. Mike protested and didn't want to leave unless his uncle gave him a new gun. Long story short, Mike asked Eli to accompany him. He also promised to give Mike a commission if the transaction was successful. When he entered the drug dealer's headquarters, Mike looked very nervous, especially as there were many burly old men staring at him with sharp. After that, Mike invited Eli to start his own illegal business without his uncle's interference. He planned to work with Jamal as his main supplier. However, Eli was not yet interested in this business and preferred doing other jobs. While at the headquarters, Mike Sawyer was going to buy drugs for his uncle. Not only that, Laugh also offered him to buy 2 of the latest model pistols, but unfortunately one of the pistols was taken by Eli because Mike had left it with him. As a result, Laugh was angry with Mike's stupidity. That evening, Mike spoke privately with his uncle. The point was that he no longer wanted to help with his illegal business. Mike determined to build his own business and didn't want to be less helper anymore. Hearing this, Left looked very disappointed because he had looked after Mike since he was a kid. However, in the end, he allowed his nephew to start his own business, but on the condition that Mike had to pay the rent while he was still living his house elsewhere. Adam came to see Dunn again to ask for permission to meet Jenny. Adam promised not to reveal his true identity. Even so, his ex-wife still forbade him from approaching their son. But when Adam was walking home, he passed the place where he killed his brother, and suddenly he remembered what happened 16 years ago. After waking up for his hallucinations, Adam went to the park to see his only son. While waiting for Jimmy to pass by, Adam drew a picture of a couple sitting across the street. Not long after, Jimmy came with his friends. Then when Jimmy saw Adam drawing, he looked very interested and immediately approached Adam. Knowing that his son was interested in his work, he invited Jimmy to draw together, even taught him how to draw good pictures. Jimmy didn't think and all that he can make good pictures. At this moment, their relationship became even closer, even though Jimmy didn't know yet that Adam was his father. When he returned home from the park, Jimmy was still amused by the picture, but when Donna saw it, she looked very angry because the picture was very similar to Adam. She immediately snatched it from Jimmy's hands, afraid that her son would be taken away. Donna finally called Patricia, then asked for help to keep Adam away from Jimmy. However, Patricia couldn't help because that wasn't the police's job. Besides, Adam had repented and was considered harmless because there was no other way. Donna asked for son to talk seriously. She told Jimmy that Adam was his father. Donna convinced Jimmy that Adam deliberately left them both for 16 years. Here, Donna lied and didn't tell Jimmy the truth so that Jimmy would hate his own father. At the same time, Sticky invited Mike to some more comics to a customer at a roadside coffee shop. At that place, Mike accidentally saw Adam, who worked as a waiter. As a local people, of course, Mike knew that Adam was the man who murdered his brother. That Sticky gave him idea to teach Adam a lesson. So when it was late at night, they both intercepted Adam in a quiet place. Mike then provoked Adam's emotions and called him a murderer. Adam didn't accept it, so he immediately punched Mike, but unfortunately, he was beaten by the two of them. The next morning, his mother was shocked until she was short of breath because she saw Adam walking. She couldn't understand why her son's killer could be hanging around her house. On the other hand, Adam met Patricia, who asked him to away from Donna and Jimmy. Patricia then told him that Donna felt disturbed if her ex-husband kept approaching Jimmy, but as a father, Adam felt he had the right to meet his son, and after that, Adam went back to meet his son in the park. But this time, Jimmy just walked away from him because he was already disappointed and thought that his father had deliberately left him. Meanwhile, in another place, Eli met Laurie to apologize because he had often behaved uncontrolled, but unfortunately he was fed up and wanted to end the relationship. I didn't want to break up with his girlfriend, but Laurie had made her decision and she couldn't do it anymore. In the midst of his sadness, Eli was even shocked after hearing the news that his mother had fainted. Feeling worried, he rushed to the hospital to see his mother's condition. The doctor said that his mother fainted after having a heart attack, and when Eli's mother woke up, she said that she saw her son's murderer walking in the middle of town, and this made her very angry because Adam reminded her of her late son. Trying to calm his mother, said that her illness wouldn't recur. Then when his mother was sleeping, he lied to say, "I did to go to Mike's place just event, but unexpectedly it turned out he was having an affair with Laurie. Knowing this fact, Yumi immediately fought Mike brutally. When Eli was gone, Mike felt guilty and intended to apologize to him. However, Laurie said that Mike didn't need to do it anyway. Her relationship with Eli was over. Even though his friendship with Aline was broken, at least Mike still had Laurie by his side. That's why Mike wanted to invite Laurie to move to Austin, because he was fed up with the city. To do that, of course, Mike needed a lot of money to be able to move to the city. Therefore, he decided to go to Jamal's house and planned to ask for narcotics that could be sold. When Mike arrived at Jamal's place, he immediately conveyed his intentions. Jamal told him to be a man who would give him a supply before looking for that person. Mike met your first here. Mike planned to borrow money so he could pay for Jamal narcotics. After that, he would sell the drugs to here at a higher price, but as an experienced gangster boss, of course he couldn't be tricked that easily, and then Mike was forced to provide a guarantee. He promised to bring his uncle's car as a proof that he was very serious about this business. The next day, Adam turned to meet Jimmy, who was hanging out with his friends, and again Jimmy, as an unstable teenager, didn't want to talk to his father. In fact, he still refused when Adam persuaded him with money. Adam then decided to go to his ex-wife again, and this time Adam said that he still loved Donna and wanted to improve their relationship. Adam was sorry for his actions in the past. However, it seemed that Donna couldn't forgive Adam and asked him to stay away from Jimmy. Even though he was forbidden to meet his son, Adam still went to the park. Surprisingly, Jimmy wanted to talk to Adam again. Adam then explained the real reason that he disappeared for 16 years because he was in prison. So when Adam was young, he and Steve were good friends, but one day Steve seduced a woman who apparently already had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend was Elise's older brother. At that time, Emil, his brother, didn't like Steve's actions. Who dare to seduce his girlfriend? So he immediately beat Steve. But on the other hand, Adam also didn't accept it if his best friend was beaten. Then Adam took his father's gun and went to meet his brother. At first, Adam just wanted to scare us brother, but his brother was actually attacking him, and without realizing it, Adam opened fire, killing his brother. After telling Jimmy about his dark past, Adam apologized to Jimmy because after all, his son had lost his father figure since childhood. After that, Jimmy went to his mother's workplace. Here, Jimmy said that he already knew the truth about his father, and from now on he didn't want to be controlled by his mother anymore. As a son, he felt he had the right to meet his father at any time. Hearing this, Donna finally gave up and then called Adam to tell him that he could meet Jimmy whenever he wanted. Apart from that, Donna also wanted to improve their relationship for the sake of their son. Hearing this, Adam felt very happy to be reunited with his little family. On the other hand, Eli seemed to have returned to work, but his thoughts and feelings were still confused because his mother hasn't recovered yet. Not only that, he was also angry with Mike and Laurie, who had betrayed him. This made him unfocused and often threw tantrums at work until finally the project manager felt fed up. In the media, we fired him that evening. Eli followed Mike, who was with Laurie. When Mike passed Yumi immediately tackled him and pointed a gun at him. Eli threatened to kill Mike if he was still in a relationship with Laurie. After that, Mike currently went to the place to get Jamal's narcotic supplies, but the man who guarded the place asked for money first. When Mike had been waiting for a long time, he started to worry because the man hadn't sent the goods. Mike finally banged on the door and realized that it was assistant's house. Mike immediately felt that he had been cheated by Jamal. It seemed like this was the punishment for him for betraying his own friend. Without wasting any time, Mike immediately went to Jamal to ask for accountability, but unfortunately he was held at gunpoint by those men, and after being thrown out by Jamal, Mike Menier and said that he had been cheated so he couldn't pay off his debt. Hearing the bad news, Yer was furious and immediately tortured Mike cruelly. Now Mike have to look for a way to pay off his debt because Yer only gave him 1 day at the latest. He finally decided to rob a mini market. At the same time, Eli was at Steve's coffee shop to calm himself down, but his anger got bigger after seeing Adam working there when the coffee shop was quiet and about close. Eli used this opportunity to avenge his brother so that his mother could calm down. Then he pointed his gun and looked at Adam with hatred, but Adam didn't know he lived very well, so he thought that Eli was a robber. You lied and said that he was the younger brother of the man who was killed by Adam 16 years ago. Adam was shocked and immediately apologized to him. Not long after, Mike suddenly entered the coffee shop intending to rob Eli, who felt angry, immediately shot Mike straight away. Adam then, trying to calm, he lay down and said that he would help him so that he wouldn't be caught by the police, but unfortunately Yumi had already taken revenge and chose to shoot Adam without hesitation. The next day, Donna and Jimmy received news that Adam had died. Donna felt very devastated because Adam had promised he would be a good father and husband. Meanwhile, Jimmy had to lose his father forever. On the other hand, Eli managed to escape accusations because the police concluded that Adam and Mike killed each other in the coffee shop at the same time. Left thought that his nephew was killed by here, so he went to this gangster boss and immediately finished him off. At the end of the film, Jimmy decided to study fine arts so he could draw his father's face and remember him forever. Then please subscribe this channel and thanks for watching.